at the point when we first started working together, my sales team was okay. We did $11 million. There was a lot of disorganizations. And then the following year, we went up to, it went from 600,000 to closer to a mil. From a leadership development standpoint, if you're kind of lacking those people that are elevating you to the next level.
Thanks for hopping on the call, Chris. Thank you for taking your time out of your busy day. Just wanted to kind of go over some of your start before obviously we were able to kind of work beside each other and how we were able to kind of transform things and obviously the big things that you're doing now as far as income and obviously team development is concerned. First question for you here, as far as just being able to before working aside me and working side by side, I guess, how was your sales team and what were some of the things that you would say that your team maybe had some challenges with?
So I would say at the point when we first started working together, my sales team was okay. And I think on paper, we met enough of the metrics to where we looked good on paper, but there were definitely some underlying kind of culture issues from a team standpoint. And I think there were a lot of kind of cracks in the foundation with my leadership team that worked beneath me. Those were some of the challenges. And then I would also say, from a training standpoint, I think there was a lot of disorganization with how training was kind of done, and it was a bit antiquated prior to.
Okay, cool. And obviously, because you were already at the top of your craft at that point from an agent perspective, with the income that you had generated and obviously from some of the team development that you had. But just talk a little bit about what your results were, I guess, prior to that point where we decided obviously we were going to work together, and then afterwards, as far as not only from your own obviously revenue, but from a team perspective as well.
So, I mean, from a team standpoint, if you look at, because we started working together kind of towards the tail end of 2022.
Correct.
So I finished out 2022 with a team we did $11 million. That was
Hmm.
what our issued business was. And then the
Correct.
following year, we went up to $15.4 million.
Nice. And how did that translate in terms of revenue? Because obviously you were always one of the top earners in the industry, but obviously making that change as far as the team development, how did that impact your personal income?
I mean, it definitely was when I want to say from, I don't have the exact figures, but I want to say it went from like 600,000 to closer to a mil.
Nice. And just overall, I guess obviously with that income growth, what would you say that, obviously working beside each other and working together that I was able to assist you with the most? Obviously you struggle with, you had some of the things that you would struggle with at the time, but if you had to kind of pinpoint it to a few things.
I would say definitely a couple of the things that I like had issues with that I feel like you were directly able to have a major impact on was from a leadership development standpoint. Working with some of the leaders who were working kind of under me, I think at that time, it was a little bit disorganized, and some of the people who were working on my leadership team were people that I didn't necessarily have the opportunity to develop from an agent through leadership. A lot of them were kind of just, they were on a leadership team. Their leaders kind of, left the building and then they went on to my team. So I think for us kind of working together, not only were we able to get some of those leaders who, frankly, were just not up to par out of the equation, but then also work together to kind of develop some of the, higher producing agents who had a ton of potential and then
Mhm.
take them being, a strong agent who has a positive influence on the team to now they have, specific measurable things that they're doing on a daily basis that we can now translate them from being, that agent who's influential to now being that leader that's running their team like a business. So whether that's tracking, their agents' KPIs, whether that's, having a good understanding of how to actually implement their schedules or trainings into their schedules so that they're able to not only, personally produce and sell business, but then also, successful team and make sure that they're automating as much of that stuff as possible as well.
Nice, yeah. And obviously that made a huge jump just from not only a leadership development standpoint, but also you see it have an effect on even the agents coming through the door as well.
Right.
Last thing here, what kind of wrap things up? If anybody, agencies, agency owners, just agents in general, were on the fence, maybe 50-50 about working with me, what would you tell them?
I would definitely say that in especially in any type of, sales business, but insurance specifically, if you don't have the right surroundings and you don't have enough of the people that are, in your direct circle of influence that are helping you get to a better result, we have the ability, and we're fortunate enough to be able to bring someone on, like yourself, to then take our business from point A to point B. So I think if you're kind of lacking, those people that are elevating you to the next level, that you're a huge asset. And if you do even have those people around, but you're having trouble kind of putting the pieces together and organizing them, having someone like yourself who can kind of come in and, say, okay, this is how we're going to structure it. This is how we're going to take, the team from this to this point.
Perfect. Yeah. And that's all the time we have. Again, Chris, again, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy day to go ahead and knock this out. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and you take it easy.
Thank you.